Good morning. Today I don't have the luxury of recording from my computer because my computer is currently shut down by the FBI for some music that was downloaded on it. So I am the camera woman today as well, so you have to excuse me if I'm moving and shaking and all that stuff. But anywho, when I made my last video, I actually planned on making consistent videos because I got some stuff to say. But that kind of, shut me down, and now I'm just going to have to work it this way. It's not really the best option, but we're going to have to work with it. If you guys have never seen a movie called Goodbye Uncle Tom, I almost said Uncle Tom's Cabin. Goodbye Uncle Tom, I highly suggest it because it is really interesting. That's if you can stomach it. It was a lot of parts that I couldn't even watch. I had to kind of like fast forward through, but it is really, really good. It's actually, well, they say it's the most accurate depiction of slavery because it is a documentary. Well, it's fiction, like, but it's a documentary. It's a fictional documentary, but it's based off of, records and documents during slavery, real things that happened. So it is very realistic, and it's not, the old happy-go-lucky slavery movies that we are used to seeing. Not to say that they're, you know what I mean anyway, though, because it's like real, real, cutthroat, all that. So, anywho, in this movie, there was this one scene, and in this scene, it was like a brothel or something. I don't know. There were certain women that were picked, attractive women were picked to basically be toys for, the slave masters and I guess their friends or whoever else they wanted to give them to. So they had this one guy, I guess he was their pimp because he was like responsible for making sure they were groomed and knew what they were supposed to do and all that stuff. So in this scene, this guy is telling them, I forgot to mention that the women were like naked, and had jewelry on, like gold jewelry and stuff, and gold chains and all that other stuff. So he's like telling them to, dance, and he like, shake your ass, not your shoulders. And when he said that, I was like, oh my goodness, because it made me think of Mystikal's video, shake your ass. So, they up there shaking and with the, and gyrating with all this jewelry on and stuff. And it was crazy to me because it looked exactly like the video, a modern day video, because there, in that video there were half naked women with, gold and jewelry and stuff on, and they were shaking their asses. So that was really crazy to me, and it made me think about the whole dynamic between, black men and black women today, and how we got to this state. And it's so crazy because I thought about the fact that, back then, men as well as women were property, but women specifically were used sexually. They were sexual property. And, this scene, excuse me, I'm getting a little sick and my hand's a little ashy, sorry. This scene where they were, like basically prostitutes and stuff, that was like a great example because, they wouldn't get paid for it. They was just having their way with them any way they wanted because they were property. And it made me think about, how the men had to feel about this, because as a man, your job is to protect your family. So if you have no say-so in what's going on with your wife or your woman, then, that's kind of that's stumping on your manhood. And so not only are you going to resent this man for doing it, but you're going to resent, your woman as well, because it is happening. Even though she doesn't have control over it and she can't necessarily stop it, just like you can't, you still, it's still embedded in you that, she is a piece of property. She is being used as a piece of property. And as far as the women go, this was an advantage for them back then, because even though it was still demoralizing, there were certain women who I'm sure were happy to have this position because they got attention, they got, adornments and stuff. They got to look nice. They didn't have to work out in the fields and pick cotton and all this other stuff. So I'm sure this was an advancement for them. And so that speaks a lot about the way that black women are today. I mean, women in general, but more specifically black women, because we are, well, I guess I can say it, shit, we are a little more provocative and I'm sorry, promiscuous, you know, compared to how we're supposed to be. So you look at this and you think this was, you know, put in our heads a long time ago, that, you know, our bodies are a source for us to advance, not, you know, thinking and all the other stuff, but, you know, purely your looks, your body, and the man that you can get. So like I said, it all falls in today. It's so crazy to me, because even today you have men, because a lot of our young black boys are brought up to think that, you know, women are hoes and you use them as need be, the same way that those slave masters did back then. Because you have, and you know, and it's a cycle. It repeats itself, because you have the women playing into the roles and you have the men thinking this of them. So then you have, okay, you know, these people just randomly having sex, and you know, you have a baby. So then those children, they grow up, because 9 times out of 10, like I said, that man, a lot of those men, they use the women for sex and they're going about their way. So then they're not raising, you know, their kids. These kids out here, they being raised by these women. Then if it's you know, a boy, he see his mama, he grew up seeing his mama being a hoe, because that's what she was taught. He see her being a hoe, and so that's his first representation of a woman. So he's feeling like all women are hoes. You can't trust these hoes, you know. So you hit it, you go on about your business. So the cycle repeats itself. Same way for women. You grow up seeing your mama doing these things. You're gonna think that's the way to be. You're gonna think that you're supposed to use your looks and your body, your sexuality for advancement. And it's really, really sad. It's really crazy to me that these things are so deeply embedded in us that we are still like this today, you know. These men are exploiting these women, and these women are okay with that. They see it as a good thing, and they see it, like I said, as a means to advance. So it's sad, but it's true. And I've seen a lot of videos that talks about the dynamic between a black man and a black woman, but I never seen one from this point of view. So I just thought it'd kind of be nice to talk about that. But yeah, like I said, y'all, this stuff was put in us a long time ago, and we still ain't broke through. Sad but true. Just something to think about. So I hope you guys have a good day. I hope I didn't do too much moving and all that good stuff. But shalom.